has to be investigated. It's an obvious path for any state actor, state-inspired actor who wants to cause trouble to go after critical infrastructure like this. So it's very much within the purview of the sorts of conversations we've been hearing about from MI5 in the past year about, sort of Russian agents and others potentially causing chaos in the UK. It doesn't mean, of course, this is an attack from abroad, but the possibility needs to be discounted and needs to be discounted quickly to discover exactly what has gone on here. Whether it is or isn't, it is a critical national infrastructure fail. It's a fail because you can't have Heathrow shut down for a day. There should be numerous ways that's avoided. For that not to be avoided tells you that we have a security problem potentially, but B, an infrastructure problem that needs to be resolved quickly, and we need a full national audit. Hopefully, there is no terrorism of any kind involved, and it is purely a sort of a fire, as was stated. But even in that case, this is not good news for the UK.
Yeah, I mean, do we need to be asking a question about why our critical infrastructure isn't defended? As you said, we don't know what's gone on here regarding this particular electrical substation. To me, it's strange that not only is the substation being taken out, but all the backup generators as well seem to have not worked, or something's happened to them too. I don't know how they're laid out. I don't know if it's all part of the same inferno that's engulfed the lot of it. But it does raise the question that even if this isn't a malign attack, it potentially could have been. Do we need to be looking into how we should better protect our infrastructure?
Absolutely. There's clearly got to be a hardening of our national infrastructure. We've argued for this for a long time, to say that there needs to be this full audit of those critical things that if they start going down, the country is in real trouble. And obviously, an airport is one of those areas that you want to have fully defended. So yes, clearly, if it can go down this quickly, whether it is by an attack or whether it is by a natural or unnatural occurrence, but one that is not a terrorist setup, either way, you've got a situation where the UK has been left undefended as a result of that. And clearly, we have to, take lessons from this and make sure that hardening occurs so that things like this can't happen again. And if one thing is knocked out, that doesn't mean that every other fail-safe system is also knocked out with it. It stands to reason that you need to have different sources, as it were, of power to make sure that you're not all caught out in one attack.
Yeah, I mean, this could be just a horrific accident that has taken place at this substation. It could be a malign actor. But let's talk about arson attacks that have taken place in the UK at the hands of foreign actors. I know was it a DHL cargo ship with all these exploding devices on? We also know that weapons manufacturers have been targeted by arson attacks believed to be conducted by Russian agents. I mean, what sort of things have been taking place in the UK that have been underreported?
Well, you've highlighted that. There was a whole spate of these sorts of activities. And I think MI5 were quite open, in their sort of hint, saying, look, there are problems here. We've got GRU agents roaming Britain streets. We've got spy rings. We have other forms of espionage going on. We've got the potential for disruption on Britain's streets. And I think what it points to is the need to resource our intelligence services to the hilt to make sure we know what's going on in the UK, and to make sure, again, that there are not these opportunities for those agents working for foreign powers to cause the kinds of disruptions that we've seen. Now, it's one thing if it's low level, you don't want it, but it's not going to, knock out an entire, grid or a setup in that way. But when we're talking about the critical national infrastructure part, imagine if a nuclear power plant was attacked, for example. I mean, there can be some truly horrendous consequences. So we need to have a proper handle, like I said, on what our infrastructure defence requirements are, and we need to make sure that we are set up to defend them.